Well, good evening, everyone. This is Brian Rabin. Welcome to the October PTSA meeting. We're so pleased that you're joining us tonight. We have a full agenda tonight. We're going to give you an update on our upcoming meetings. We want to talk about some of the events that we had the past month, talk about our PTSA fundraising, some of the staff appreciation activities that we've done. And then I'll turn it over to Nikki for some the membership update, Holiday Helping Hands program, and an update on the coffee chat. And then we'll have Mr. Doug Nelson provide some school updates. And then I'm very excited tonight. We have our Bridge to Wellness presentation. We're going to learn about the services that are provided right in school at Wootton. So we'll get to that very shortly. So for our upcoming meetings, just through the rest of the fall, we have our November meeting. We have Jody Glau from Custom College Consulting. She did a great presentation last year. And this year she's going to be talking about enhancing the student profile. So this topic is going to be targeted to 9th and 10th grade students so that they can prepare and develop all the things they need to do to prepare for college and all the application process. So it's a really great topic, very informative for 9th and 10th grade parents. It's really great for all parents, but especially our 9th and 10th grade parents. And then in December, we're always excited for this event. This is our annual alumni event. This is where we get our recent alumni to come back after their first semester, and they share with us how things went. And this event is perfect for both students and parents. What we do is we have breakout rooms. So we're not sure how many we'll have just yet, but we'll have at least 2 breakouts, maybe more, depending on the number. And it'll be an opportunity for students and parents to ask questions and learn about how our students decided on the colleges that they ended up selecting and how their semester went. And it's just always a great night and a lot of energy. So we hope that you can make both of those upcoming meetings. Yeah, and thank you, Nikki. All of our meetings happen on the 3rd Tuesday of every month, almost every month at 7 p.m. We do usually skip the January month, but depending on the weather, if the weather is, usually we skip January. That's what we do. So moving on to the events that we've had over the past month, we've had some really amazing events. The college fair, we had over 65 colleges and universities came to Wootton. They met with students and parents. We had it outside. We called it the College Fair Tailgate. It was really exciting. We had beautiful weather, and it was just a really great night. We had a lot of families come out and talk to college reps and picked up a lot of great information. So we look forward to holding that again next year. And this past Saturday, we had our Wootton Cluster Fall Festival, and it was just tremendous weather. Just a beautiful day. We had an incredible turnout. And this event was all of our cluster schools. So we have 9 schools within our cluster, and including Wootton, 2 middle schools, 6 elementary schools, and so many families came out. It was just great. And some of our vendors ran out of food. And we collected used shoes, and we collected sports equipment, and they collected more than they could. I mean, just an incredible amount. So thank you to all those that attended, and we look forward to doing that again next year. So we're picking up again on our fundraising. We started a great fundraiser for the interlocking tile floor. And this is for events that take place in the gym to protect the floor. There has to be a covering. And right now, at least for, I think of the past 20 years, there's been a covering there's a blue tarp that gets taped down. And we wanted to find something that would be better for our students to enjoy events in the gym and be able to dance on. And so we started our fundraiser back in 2019. However, with the pandemic, we were not able to do much in the way of fundraising events. So we're picking that up again. So our goal is $20,000. We're up to $5,600. We would have been much further ahead if we were able to do fundraisers. So we are planning multiple fundraisers throughout the year. You will definitely hear about restaurant nights. Those will really help us. For anyone who is interested in making a donation to the Wootton PTSA, a tax-deductible donation, you could do so through our Wootton PTSA website. You can click, you can click on, can you get there from fundraising, Nikki, on the website?
That's the link. I mean, you can just go to woottonptsa.org and there's a link to the fundraising.
Thank you. And so you can make a donation there if you wish. And then our first restaurant night coming up on Tuesday, October 25th. So boy, that's already next week. So it's going to be at Jersey Mike's in Falls Grove. And it's going to be all day long. So anyone who wishes to stop by, please make sure you mention Wootton PTSA, and they will be making a donation. A percentage of sales will come back to the PTSA. So please enjoy a sandwich at Jersey Mike's on Tuesday. And I wanted to give you an update on our staff appreciation activities. We so greatly appreciate our wonderful faculty and staff at Wootton. They do so much for our kids, and so we want to make sure that we give back to them. And so we've done a number of events so far. During the in-service day, we had donuts and coffee for staff and faculty, a welcome back lunch, back to school night. We had donuts and coffee the next morning. Of course, our faculty stayed really late into the evening, so that welcomed them the next morning. And coming up, we have a pie and cider, and we have a cookie exchange. And the cookie exchange we do every year, and we do need a lot of parents to help us with that. We bake lots of cookies, and we provide those. They go in the Career Center, and staff and faculty can go in and select their cookies. And it's around in December as we approach holiday time. So it's always a favorite event. We do it across all of our cluster schools, and I know the faculty and staff really enjoy that. So we'd love to have lots of volunteers to bake cookies, and we will be providing lots of information about that in the coming weeks. We can move on to the next one. I'm going to turn it over to Nikki.
Okay, so I just wanted to give a quick membership update, and I'm pleased to say that we've at least exceeded last year's membership goal. And so at least on the parent side, we're a little shy of last year's overall total, but we've exceeded the parent, and we usually do have a small amount that we gain as the year goes on. People join for different reasons later. The directories went to print today. And so they said it'll probably be about a week before I get those. Then I have to label them and organize them, and they'll be delivered to your child's homeroom teacher for distribution. I'm going to send out an email soon if there's anybody who needs it mailed. We stopped mailing them just because postage costs were too high and we couldn't afford to cover those costs. In the past, we had enough advertising. It used to pay for the mailing. But without enough advertising revenue, that cost was becoming something we were having to take on. So we've started this new system of delivering them through the homeroom teacher. But, I know there are some limited circumstances. There may be a handful of people that need them mailed. That's fine. I'll send out an email and you can let me know if you do need it mailed. I will have, I think, about 40 to 50 extra copies. So I'll also send out an email in case there's anybody who didn't get a chance to sign up that would like a copy. It won't be too late. I should have enough, hopefully, for those last minute additions. And before I move on to the next slide, I keep meaning to email about this. I haven't done it yet, but at our in-person membership meeting last month, someone left a gray athletic type jacket. It's a Reebok, it's a large. So, if you were committed enough to come to the in-person meeting, you might be on this call tonight or watching it soon. Please send me a message if this is your jacket. I would like to return it to you. So next, I wanted to talk about the Holiday Helping Hands program. So if you saw the newsletter this week, you know that we kicked off the program this week. The website is live and we've already started getting families. We have 3 families up on the website already. And so this is, I think this is our 3rd year now. It's hard to believe, doing this I think it's 3rd year because we started during the pandemic, 2020, I believe. Yeah, that was our 1st year. So Jen Eisenfeld and I do this program. She's our community outreach liaison. And so how we do it is we set up gift registries for these children. The PPWs and the school counselors refer these kids to our program, and we send forms home with the parents. And so they give us information about what size clothes the kids wear, what are they interested in, what are some toys they would like. They also let us know if they need toiletries or other like essentials that they may be lacking. We also try to do a grocery store gift card for each family. In the past, we've done 150 per family minimum. This year, we're going to try to do 200. Just with inflation, it's getting harder for families to pay for groceries. So, but all this information, again, it's on our website at wootonptsa.org/holiday. And so real quick, I've got a really short video. If there's no audio to it, I'm going to talk over it, but just to kind of show you how the website operates in case you have any questions about where everything is. So we're going to start that now. So when you are on the website, you can see you can go up here to the top, Holiday Helping Hands program if you're on the home page. And then there are 4 ways to support a family in need, right? We've got purchasing the gifts for a child through the registry, donating a store gift card so that we can shop for you, donating the grocery store gift card, or donating cash and we'll shop for you. You can always ask us questions. Our email is up here. We get to those as soon as possible. So as far as the gift card donations go, we'd really like it if you'd fill out this form. It's very simple. It helps us know that you're going to be sending it to us or so that we can track them. There's also information up here if you want to send us money electronically, how to do that. Really anything you need to know should already be on this website. So you can see that this form is really simple. We just want your email, name, and your phone number in case we have questions. Just let us know what you plan to donate, whether you're going to email it to us or drop it off, and then where you plan to get a gift card from, and that's it. That's all the information we're looking for our tracking. And so then if you are looking to shop off of a registry, we also have a form for that, which is equally simple. And so as we add families, this will get updated, but really just put a checkbox next to the family you're planning to shop for and submit that. And then you can always leave us some extra information if you need to. And so at the bottom is where you'll find the registry. So you can see right now we've got 3 families up on the website. And for each child, we identify them by a letter and put their age. And then we have links to the registry. So right now we're in a Target registry. So as an example, this is what it would look like if you went and shopped in the registry. So I'm going to add a few things here so that I want to show you the cart so you can see people often have questions about the shipping address. What does that look like? What do I select? How do I know where to send it? Obviously, you can also shop in person and drop things off to us, but shipping is often easier. So you can see how it says right here which registry it's being shopped from. And then make sure you check that the order is a gift so that we get a gift receipt. And then when you go to check out, you're going to see the shipping addresses. So you see how there's this one shipping to the registry address. So it's not going to be displayed. You can see these other addresses. That's just because that's my account. But you'll always see that shipping address for the registry. And that's what you'll want to select before you check out. So that's on Target. So next we're going to take a quick look at Amazon, which is just as simple. So if you're in Amazon, and you add an item to your cart from this registry. I'm going to do that, add it to the cart. And then when we go to the cart, let's see, we're going to make sure we've checked off that it's a gift. That's, again, important for us to get a gift receipt because we like to give those to the kids. And then you're going to see your first address is going to be this gift registry address. It's not going to show you what it is, but that's where you want to send it. So make sure you check off it's a gift. You also don't need to do a gift bag because we gift wrap all the items. And then if you want, you can email us a copy of the gift receipt. That's optional, totally up to you. And that's really it. And then check out like you normally would. So, we've tried to make it as simple as possible. And so this will be continuously updated as we get new families. And once the registries are completely shopped, then I take down the links. So this is our frequently asked questions. This is based on real questions that people have asked us. And if we get enough, if we get new questions, then I update this site as well. So you should be able to find out whatever you need to know, but obviously you can still email one of us if you still have questions. And everything is going to be dropped off at Jen's house. She lives pretty convenient to, I think, most of us. She lives near the Trader Joe's off Travilla. So again, pretty convenient. Also, I know some people have asked about the gift wrapping, the students who get SSL hours. We will be putting up a link on the site soon for students to sign up for that. So I know that was a lot of information, but hopefully that was helpful. Let's move on. Okay. So I just wanted to do a quick reminder that this Friday is our coffee chat for the month. That's at 9 a.m. The event is recorded like it always is. It'll be up on our YouTube page probably later that day. And tomorrow morning, you'll get an email requesting questions. And so you can send those to me and I'll pass those on to Mr. Nelson. And we always get to those during the recording. That way, if you can't be there at 9 a.m., you can watch the recording later and see how your question was answered. So with that, I am going to turn it over to Mr. Nelson for some school updates.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Great to be with you virtually. Nikki, thank you so much for that update. And I'll do a little plug. It is always helpful to get those questions in advance. I, of course, will take questions on the fly, but it is nice if you can sometimes find a resource or reference something specific from the school system because you get that question in advance. I can take some of those responses a little further. So if you have any burning questions, make sure you submit them and we certainly will address them on Friday and it'll be nice to see you then. I just wanted to provide some school updates and of course start with the amazing Fall Festival. Our PTSA have been partners with us in so many things this fall, but as someone new to Wootton, I just wanted to say, I wanted to, of course, get my feet wet and see what this experience was like. I was not prepared for how fun the Fall Festival is. So it's so much socializing, the performances, the games, photo booths. I mean, every time you turned around, there was something new to do. I got really awesome bracelets from the Black Student Union. So I had a really wonderful time at the Fall Festival. I truly believe that as we are returning back to normal, when we are creating these events where we bring community or in a very tangible way to our students in the community that we serve, we sponsor an event that just feels like we're back. We are doing a lot to restore some of those things that we are still recovering from post-pandemic. So to the PTSA and everybody who helped organize that event, a huge thank you. We had a great time. Just one quick reminder, this Monday is a professional day. So Monday will be a no school for students day. Offices and staff, we will be open, but not for students. So please know if you need to reach out to us, the office is still open. And it's a professional day for teachers. This evening was the National Honor Society induction ceremony. So I ran out of the auditorium and came over to jump onto the PTSA meeting this evening. We inducted 200 new students, either juniors or seniors, into the National Honor Society. And it was just wonderful to celebrate their success. But I think the National Honor Society is a particularly lovely evening because you task students that have already demonstrated that they're academically successful to giving back to not only your school, but your community. And they have, of course, their 4 pillars. So we inducted new members and they will now begin their work to serve not only the school, but the community at large in a number of those individuals that utilize their service in a number of ways. One thing I wanted to draw attention to a number of people on the PTSA Zoom tonight is some information that was nested into the community update last week. And this is around the seal of biliteracy. The Seal of Biliteracy has been a program that MCPS has been growing, and it is available to students across the state of Maryland, as well as many states around the nation. And the Seal of Biliteracy is a way for students to demonstrate their proficiency in a second language. So they might have their specific, first language, but many of our students are proficient or very proficient in another language. And the school systems, of course, recognize, particularly MCPS, that there is an interest in getting that designation for students that are living in an ever-increasing global society, in which that is really value added. So we have started to communicate information, but I would really like for parents to spread the word or talk to your junior or senior about whether you want students to sit for that Seal of Biliteracy testing. That's not the only way to get the designation. Sometimes taking an AP course can do it, but information has started to come out of the World Language Office. This evening, Ms. Rogers, our ASA, she is on this Zoom, and then Mr. Fetterman is the resource teacher for World Language. They, of course, will share that information broadly, but I want to encourage anyone who possibly wants to seek that designation to go after it, because you will get a mark on your diploma that shows that you are proficient in another language. And I think it's really meaningful and something our students should be trying to acquire. So just wanted to call that out because very worthwhile endeavor to try to get the Seal of Biliteracy. MCPS last week communicated to their Board of Education that the anti-racist audit report has come to the school system. In very simple terms, what I want you all to know about that is there will be additional community information that goes out about the findings of that report. But on the other side of this coin is what schools will be doing with the findings of the report. And not only do we have the larger findings for the system at large, each school will receive a specific report. That information has not reached us yet here at Wootton, but I just want everybody to know that there will be information coming down to us, about how we are going to take a look at those findings and what work we're going to do to move forward now that we have the report. A little note about our new attendance email that we have here at Wootton. So you might have noticed in it, a message went out about a very general email that can go to the attendance office. And I want to draw a distinction about why we have that. You, of course, know we have an attendance secretary, Ms. Vicente. She's really wonderful. She's on it. She, of course, receives so many different requests and updates about appointments that individuals need to keep. And so her inbox is always moving emails along. And that's what I want to highlight, is that when she is here, you can, of course, email her directly. But there are times that everybody needs to be out of the office or is not possibly here at school with us. And that is where that general email comes in. By having that attendance email, which is like the Wootton attendance at mcpsmd.org, by using that general message, anyone in the main office now can access those requests and process them along the way should someone be absent. So what I want you to know is you still can reach directly out to someone in the attendance office, but I recommend that you use the other email address because anyone can step in and help move requests along so that you're not waiting for someone to get back in touch with you or an excuse an absence that you have reported. We can do that along the way. And I just a little note as I wrap up, this is my final comment. I know we're going to transition next into the update from Ms. Branham and of course our Bridge to Wellness staff. I just wanted to take a moment to recognize them, not only for being here, but really to just call attention to what supports we have in place for your students this year. I think back to where we were pre-pandemic, and when we had students that might need the support of a social worker or individuals that need to intervene on their mental health and well-being, we did not have the staff that we currently have this year. And I think we are in a much more fortunate position that we are staffed with Bridge to Wellness in multiple positions that are partnering with us with that program. But of course, our social worker, Ms. Branham, are here in order to now work directly with students and serving them in a way that we could not before. So I know you're going to pick up a lot of information about how they conduct their work. be some time to ask questions and get those questions answered. But I just want to express my appreciation to have such a staff available to our students, because I know making sure that your mental health and well-being is taken care of is critically important. If that's not in a good place, students cannot learn as much as we want them to until they are. So we are very fortunate to have them here. And that's all I have. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson. Before we move on, just one more update that I forgot to mention. So the Board of Education is holding Wootton cluster testimony on November 9th. That is for the Capital Improvement Program. The Capital Improvement Program is the budget for MCPS that provides our facilities. That's where we're trying to get our capital project approved. And last year we did get pushed from 2026 to 2029 to get our building up, to get our building renovated. And so it's really important, that hearing. And so we have students who are going to be testifying. The students make a really big impact. And so they're going to be testifying on November 9th. We do want to fill the hearing room with Wootton families. We have other Wootton number of students, but also, I think we'll have some parents there as well testifying. So if you're interested in testifying, October 31st is when registration opens. But I hope that you can make time to come out on November 9th and show the board how important it is that our building be renovated, like many other schools, many other high schools. So it's going to be at 6 p.m. on November 9th. So we'll be sending out information about it, but I just wanted to give you a heads up. Right now, I am going to turn it over to Sab to introduce our speakers for this evening.
Okay, we are so lucky this evening to have these two wonderful women with us today. I'd like to introduce to you Alexis Branham, the new social worker at Wootton, and Katie Immerso, the new mental health therapist at Wootton. Both ladies are licensed master social workers. Alexis has a background with children, teens, and families experiencing trauma, mental health, and family concerns. Katie has a background in crisis intervention, trauma-informed care, inpatient and community services for children, teens, and adults. They are both here today to introduce the new Bridge to Wellness Center, the wellness team, and their roles in the school this year. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you for having us here tonight. I'm so excited to be able to tell you all about what we have going on in the school this year. Do I have access to share my screen?
Yes, you should.
Okay. All right, can everybody see that?
It didn't come up yet.
Let me see. Okay.
Yep.
There
you can
now.
see it. It's there now.
Is it full screen?
No, it's not full screen.
Okay, let me see.
I think if you go to slide, yeah, you go to slideshow, I think you can do it from there at the top.
Did it go away? I did go.
Yeah, it did go away.
Okay, I think I have it now.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so my name is Alexis Branham. I am the social worker here at Wootton, and Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie Immerso. I am the mental health therapist with the Bridge to Wellness program.
All right, and I am going to let Katie get started and kick us off.
Yeah, so I am so excited. Like Mr. Nelson said, I think it's great that we just have more and more mental health resources coming into the schools. We're really excited to be here, to have 3 new positions available. I think I'm going to speak a little bit about each position and what we do. I'm sorry for my voice. So I'll speak a little bit about that, and then we'll get into what the program does, how you get there, and how we get services. So first off, I'm Katie Immerso. I'm the mental health therapist. I'm a licensed mental health therapist. provide regular outpatient therapy for kids, ongoing individual daily therapy. We also have Alejandro, who's our youth development specialist. He can provide mentoring, tutoring. We'll get a little bit more into this on the next slides. Mentoring, tutoring, and some individual attention to students. Stephanie Arce is our care manager, and she is able to connect with resources. So we are full-time, all three of our positions. We're in the school. We have 2 offices and conference room available on the second floor. Okay, so here's a little bit more about my role. I have a full ability to do assessments, diagnosis for mental health, suicidality. I can do individual therapy, group therapy. We will be having some ongoing therapeutic groups happening. Family therapy, so anybody that wants to come in and do therapy in the office is welcome to. We'll also have psychoeducation groups, mental wellness, skill building. Those will also be groups and individual. And I'll be able to do consultation with counselors, teachers. I'll be working with Ms. Brandon very closely, and also just to be able to talk to parents if that's necessary as well. We are looking for groups coming up. I think right now in the works is an anxiety and stress management group. I think that's first up, but we're always curious what the kids are interested in, what the students want to know. So we're definitely putting our feelers out, trying to figure out where the interest is. And certainly if any parents have ideas for that, we would love to hear it. You want to switch, Alexis, to the next one, and we'll talk about Stephanie. Stephanie Arce is our care manager. So care manager is someone that can help us with resources, help us make connections. She has resources to support students and family, education about local resources, so being able to connect you to those mental health resources in the community. Food banks, SNAP benefits, also helping you get those applications or make donations if you like. She's a great person to talk to about that. Housing and rental assistance, insurance applications, if you're having difficulties accessing insurance, or if you'd like to look into different types of insurance, Stephanie is a great resource for that. Benefits applications, and mental health support. She's also a social worker. She is a BSW, and she is available also for student support. Okay. And Alejandro Merquin is our youth development specialist. So his role is the most diverse. I think it's great that we have him here because he is able to talk to students in the community as well as in school. He can do after school hours, before school, lunch. His role is very flexible for whatever students need. I think right now he really wants to get some workshops going for kids. So again, I think that's going to be based on student interest, and we'll have some sign-ups happening soon. Do check-ins, mentoring, psychoeducation groups. Again, I think that goes in with the workshops. Sports activities. I think he's looking into doing soccer after school, if I'm correct about that. Leadership development, SSL opportunities, workforce development. So that's things looking for jobs, working on resumes, college applications. He's able to work with students on that one-on-one. Okay.
All right, and I'll tell you all a little bit about what I do as a school social worker. So some services I provide are individual counseling. So like Katie, I do one-on-one with students. However, I do not diagnose. Oftentimes, if I'm seeing a student one-to-one, I'm usually seeing them as I'm that bridge before they go into therapy. I understand that the wait list is very long nowadays with getting services. So I'm able to build that gap until they're able to go see a therapist outside of the school if they wanted to. However, if a student chose to, they could see me throughout the school year as well. And something else I wanted to highlight with that is that I am more of a short-term service, while Katie sees students long-term. Is it about 10 to 12 weeks, Katie, correct, for you?
Yeah, actually, there's no limit to our services. So I can see a student for the entire school year and even into next year if they are, 9th, 10th, 11th grade. We also continue work through the summer. I think group sessions are aiming for about 12 sessions. I don't think there's a limit to individual sessions. However, we won't just hang on to a student forever. We will have a treatment plan and a discharge plan in place.
Right. And so, like I said, I'm more short term. However, depending on where the student is at, I'm able to see them for a longer amount of time. There's no set limit on how many sessions a student can have. Parent outreach. And so I'll collaborate with support as well as provide parental education on health and well-being. And so I actually have a presentation that I could do. It's about destigmatizing mental health within families because, different cultures, people have different views. And so I want to educate people on how to destigmatize that. I also do group counseling as well. So between me and Katie, they'll have those options. And so, like Katie said, we do have sign-up sheets for those. And I do collaborate with the student well-being team, ILT team as needed, teachers, any outside providers, community organizations, and I also can provide professional development to school staff. And so I do work closely with our PPW regarding community resources. I'll be working closely with Stephanie regarding the same thing as well, because I know Stephanie and our PPW, Ms. McKenna, will be working closely too. And then for student well-being team, I am a part of those meetings every week, and that's where we will discuss students on my caseload, as well as students that may need to be passed on to Katie or Alejandro or Stephanie as well. And something I wanted to highlight was, how do you know if your student needs support? Change. The thing about adolescence is that there's a lot of change going on during that time. And so it's important to notice what's a normal change and what's abnormal for them. So some abnormalities would be extreme weight gain or loss, or a change in diet. Maybe you notice them eating more, maybe purging, binge eating, or eating less. Any signs of depression, such as isolation. Maybe they're not participating in activities like they used to. Maybe they're withdrawing from their friends or family. Significant changes in mood or behavior, sometimes in teens that shows up in anger, engaging in illegal activities, any drug or alcohol use, sexually acting out, self-harm, any cutting. Kids like to hide that by wearing long sleeves, long pants, jackets. If they're wearing layers in the summertime, that's a big sign for that. Changes in friends or activities, especially if their friends are on drugs or engaging in other illicit activities, and increased defiant behavior. And so what I really wanted to talk about was the referral process, because I know a big question within the community is how we have all these services, but how do we have students? How do we get access for them? And so let's say you have a student has a concern, or you're a parent and you may have a concern, or a teacher may have a concern. So what happens is that student, parent, teacher will contact the student's counselor, and the counselor will fill out a referral form, and the student will be discussed during our student well-being team meetings. And in these meetings, we'll discuss what the initial concern was, and what services would best fit, because the services that we can provide, maybe they can go to Katie for therapy, or they can go to Alejandro because they might just need a mentor or tutoring or just some type of support within the school. And then there's Stephanie, who, like Katie said, can help provide resources within the community as well. And once that student, so once we have that discussion, and during that discussion, like I said, we determine the eligibility and what students need. We provide the supports for students, which is either they're assigned to me, Katie, Stephanie, or Alejandro, and then we deliver those services. Katie, is there anything else you would like to add?
No, I think you did a good job of covering it. do think that it is, one thing that I really wanted to highlight also, the Bridge to Wellness program, we really do want to capture students that are uninsured or underinsured. I don't think that's something we talked about yet. And I do think that, so underinsured and uninsured, it doesn't necessarily mean that they don't have insurance. So if you don't have insurance, that's the only way you can get services. But we do want to prioritize that. And we want to be, sorry, Miss Brennan, what am I trying to say? I just wanted to highlight that that's what we're trying to prioritize, but it doesn't mean that you can't get services if you have insurance. That's what I'm trying to say. So you're still welcome to ask for services and we can point you in the right direction. So it may just be that either Miss Branham or possibly Stephanie will look into insurance and possibly connecting you with a therapist first before we try services in the school. But that doesn't mean that you won't necessarily access services. We just want to look at all options and make sure that we're not missing any connections in between. I think that's it.
Okay, and then there was something else I wanted to highlight. Okay, yeah, we were talking about insurance and how therapy is free. And then I also wanted to talk about, so if a student is referred to me and I feel like, because I can't diagnose, so I can see a student, they're referred to me, I'm speaking with them and I notice that they may need a diagnosis. I'm not able to diagnose, so that is when I would be able to transfer that student to Katie with parental permission, of course. And so I'm not allowed to refer any students to Bridge to Wellness until I get verbal consent from a parent. However, students are able to walk into the Bridge to Wellness Center themselves and do a self-referral. And the same thing with me. All of my students don't come from a counselor referral. Sometimes I have students who just come to my door and I'm able to do it that way. And then I'll start seeing students based off of that as well.
Yeah, that's a great point.
All right, and I just wanted to open the floor up to any questions that anyone may have. So we can just, if you have anything on your mind, we can answer that to the best of our ability.
Alexis, before we step into questions, may I just make one point for parents? And that is the referral process that you see displayed. I think it's very helpful information to know how our team moves layer through layer with supports and how we look specifically at where a student is to determine what kind of supports to put in place. What I want to just say clearly to our parent community, it is you're, having conversations with others, or you realize someone's a student might be in a tough spot. Accessing this is very simple. And what I want to just say to everyone is if you notice a change, grades are dropping off, if you just feel like there is something going on and you are not sure what it is, but you have that intuition, your kids at home, you can sense when something is awry, and it just doesn't. And working with teens, we know that they oftentimes are working with us, but sometimes they're not. And this is becoming a challenging situation. Your first step is simply to your child's counselor. It is no more than that. Please do not feel the pressure that you have to have evaluated this, or you have, done multiple steps in order to have this looked at. Just to your child's counselor is then going to prompt us to look at it at that student well-being team, which was referenced earlier in this presentation. That is a collaborative initiative from professionals here at the school to determine what we need to do. All we need from you is the request to look at it, and we will take it from there. So I just want to reassure everyone, there's lots going on here, but your reaching out to the school is very simple if you need us.
And I wanted to add one more thing away from the individual services that I provide. I'm also in the process, I want to work on building the school community. And so me and Katie and the Bridge to Wellness team have talked about doing monthly wellness days. And so hopefully our first one will be at the end of October, where it's like a trick or treat. You get a treat and you write your feelings on a pumpkin. And so that's something that we're trying to do monthly, whether it's bringing in PALs, which is the therapy dogs, or doing gratitude journals or any other mindfulness activity. There is a mindfulness coordinator within the county who does teach yoga classes and deep breathing exercises. So I want to get him to come to the school to work with students as well. All right, and now I want to open the floor for any questions that anybody may have. All right, well, thank you so much for having us. It was great. Hopefully this presentation was very informative for you all.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for that great presentation. And we are so lucky to have these services available for our students right in the school. So this is really incredible that MCPS has provided these services. If our parents have additional questions, how can they reach you?
So I can type, I'm going to type my email in the chat and they can email me that way.
And Alexis, if I recall, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're in the staff directory here for Wootton.
Yes.
Yes. So a good one-stop shop for everything is go to our staff directory, which is linked to the Wootton website, because that's going to give you names. It's going to direct you to a specific department, and then you can find email addresses right there. And I do believe Ms. Branham is under counseling under our staff directory.
Great. All right. Well, thank you for that. So you can see Alexis' email in the chat there, so you can copy that, and you can find the information in the staff directory and the website as well. And now that our presentation has been completed, any questions on anything PTSA related? All right. If there is nothing further, we look forward to seeing you at our November 15th meeting. And we'll be having a topic from Jody Glau, who will talk about building your college profile. So we look forward to seeing you next month, and hope you have a great evening and have a great month. We'll see you in November. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a